Hi, I'm Irv Engel and I'm the creator of the Encore Water Media Board. And today we're going to show off the product, tell a little bit about its history, and learn how to use it. About 350 years ago, somewhere probably in Italy, somebody decided to use watercolor as an art form. Here's what we think happened. There were scribes that had access to pens, and they had access to inks, and they had access to blotting paper, so that when they wrote things in their ledgers, they used the blotting paper to take the excess ink off. But what they didn't have was money to buy expensive canvas. They didn't have money to buy expensive oil paints. And although they might aspire to be an artist, they really couldn't be one if they were in the lower classes. And so one day somebody decided to use the water-based inks and the blotting paper, and watercolor painting was born. People liked it, they liked it. It was a different look, it was a different appearance than they'd ever seen before, and it was a little bit of an underground movement to like watercolor painting. And it came with problems that have been dragged through the last 3.5 centuries all the way to the present day. Watercolor paper today is blotting paper. It is basically the same product that they started out with. It absorbs paint down into the body of the paper and you can't get it out. Maybe that's not a problem until you get 3/4 of the way through a painting, stand back and look at it, and notice that the cow in your painting is actually bigger than the barn. You got the perspective wrong, and now you have to get rid of either the cow or the barn. But how do you do that? You can't. Here's the solution. You crumple up your painting, you throw it in the trash, you go, oh well, and you try again. And I, as a watercolor artist, had exactly the same problems. I could get 9/10 of the way through a painting and have to crumple it up and throw it in the trash. I have 2 paintings to the left of me, I'll just bring one out, that I made on this surface. It looks like a normal painting, which is the intention, but this painting has been extensively reworked because it's on the surface that you have at your stations. It's been painted over and erased and done again until I got it the way I liked it, and I never had to throw it out. So I solved the problem for myself, and I used it for my own artwork for about 9 years without ever thinking that anybody else would care or would like to be able to do the same thing. But when I finally got myself into gear, I created the board that you have in front of you. One of the other problems with watercolor painting is it's done on a sheet of paper. And when you put it on an easel, it goes all over the place. When you touch a brush to it, it doesn't stand still. Whereas the board that you have can be mounted on practically any surface. You can stack some books up on your table. If you live in an apartment back in New York City, up on the 17th floor, and you don't have room in your apartment for an easel, you can lean this up against any object that you have in your kitchen and just go right to work. Now, this is an ordinary sheet of watercolor paper. And this is a board illustrating what you're capable of doing. Well, I showed this to somebody, and they said, well, Irv, why would you want to make a painting and then erase it just to make another painting? So don't miss, it's about erasing mistakes. It's not about just erasing for the sake of erasing. The way this works is this surface holds the paint until you get it wet. And then you can do some really interesting things with it. And this has been on this board for I don't know how many months. It was just one that I had laying around. And if you just wet the paint a little bit and you take your microfiber cloth you can take it off 6 months later or whenever you decide to get around to it. So you're not constricted by time. You can get halfway through a painting and go on vacation and come back and finish it when you get back. For more information on the Encore Water Media Board, please go to our website.